Hello, ladies, and welcome to the Beauty Shaman. So today I am doing part 2 with Dr. Donese Worden, who is a naturopathic medical doctor, an expert diagnostician, I don't know why I can't say that word, and global health educator, who's trained in both conventional and alternative medicine. And she is in a very unique position to talk about both sides of healthcare, medical and natural. And today we're talking about her new non-toxic skincare and body care line. Thank you so much for joining me, Dr. Worden.
Thank you, Suzanne. And no one can say diagnostician. I just happen to learn that right then.
It's so educated, right?
It means I'm a nerd and I like to diagnose.
I have such a hard time pronouncing a lot of these things. But anyway, so you have, in this talk, we're going to talk about ingredients. This is, we in our previous discussion, I do encourage all the viewers to watch our first discussion. It's fantastic. And now we're going to talk about ingredients in products that are causing all these problems in health, inner and outer, and just all these toxic ingredients. So I really want you to get into this. It's super important because we don't know how to read labels. We don't know what these ingredients are. We need to educate ourselves because there's a lot of crap that's in products that the FDA is allowing for us to have and not know about. So take it away.
Well, there's several different groups that try to regulate skincare and cosmetics, but it depends on if it's a lotion, if it's not. It's very complicated, even to understand who it is that's supposed to be regulating it. They're understaffed. Some of the agencies have been accused of having people on the board that are actually paid by the companies that they're supposed to be watching out for or with. So it really does come down to us. And I've been formulating in the nutrition industry for nutraceuticals for a while, but whenever I started looking into skincare, it was a whole nother ballgame of what we know about that on a topical application, just not an oral application. So I did a lot of science, a lot of study, and said, okay, let me start knowing at least which ingredients I don't want. I'm not sure which ones I do want. In a natural product yet, because there's no real efficacy studies, not very many, there's a few, but that means how well they're going to work, but which ones I don't want. And I started trying a lot of different products. I still try products, and I'm on the constant lookout for what's newer or better, but I will tell you that a lot of the natural products that I tried, they just didn't work well. They might have been clean, but they didn't feel well. They didn't work with my skin, or it didn't look good under makeup. You know, all the problems that we all run into when we try all these natural things. So that's what spurred me. And it was a medical distributor that came to me and said, listen, we need a really good skincare line. And I said, oh, okay, I know how to do nutraceuticals. Now I'm going to learn the cosmeceutical type. And I did. I'm not an expert in the formulation. I will say that right off the bat. I use my expert formulators, but I do know what should not be in there. And I travel all over the world looking for new ingredients. And I have some new ones coming up that I'm excited at some point to tell you about with peptides and some natural venoms, not the Botoxes, but the natural healthy venoms. So.
I'm very interested in this natural venom because obviously, if you think about it, of course that plumps the skin, and it does it without the toxic substance that's in Botox that they're now seeing. We talked about this in our last interview, that they're now seeing is not localized. It does spread to other parts of the body. So so you've done all this great research, and I'm so glad that you said that a lot of organic non-toxic products are kind of useless because they don't really do much at all. But your research has brought you to a place of finding products that do work and do have a great impact on the skin. So what have you discovered?
Suzanne, what I'd like to do now is share my screen with our listeners and show a few little slides here that I think are applicable to what we're talking about. First, a few little definitions. What's the word natural mean? It can mean anything. We've got bad things, botulism toxins, and things that can be considered natural. So we need to be careful when it says that. But what does that mean on a label? It means it has come from a natural source, and it's not a synthetic source. Okay, it doesn't mean it's clean though. Organic, I think we all know kind of what that means, but biodynamic, you know, that's an interesting one that I did put on the label. And what that means is it's kind of beyond organic. So it's organic, but it also means that the farmers have used what they need to use to be able to replete the soil. So if we keep stripping the soil out, the nutrients and the minerals, some of the things we want in our skincare line is not going to be there as much as we'd want because we've stripped it out, right? So that's what biodynamic means. Now, it was about 3 years ago that I started really formulating these products, and I just wanted to look into what do I want it to be, and karma-free was one of them, so that we don't conduct any animal testing, don't use animal products or insect byproducts. And a lot of even natural ones use these insect byproducts. No parabens, no TEAs, sulfate-free, gluten-free, no artificial colors or fragrances, no GMOs. And I knew I wanted organic extracts as much as I could get. Not everything can be organic, but as much as we could in pure essential oils. So that was it. Here's a few things that people need to know. So if you're going to put something on your face every day, you want to make sure that you know it's been certified and tested in some way. So NOP certification is a good certification. That means certified organic under the U.S. National Organic Program. NSF means, means that it's been handled properly and that the batches in the particular line that I've created, we send out every batch outside, not in-house, which means, oh, we did our own testing, don't worry about it. No, we send it to a third party for a micro consult that looks at microbial testing. Is it growing bacteria or molds in there that we don't want? And then it's stored in a cool, direct sunlight, out of sunlight. People buy bulk in a lot of these products, right? And they store them in these hot places, and then they put them online and they send them out to people, and there's hardly any ingredient left in there that's still active because they baked it to death, or it's been too long and they changed the labels. So few things that we want to make sure that are free of parabens. Obviously, I think most people know that, and a lot of people are taking it out now, but here are some others. DM, and I'll send you these slides. You can get it onto your site there so that everybody can see it. But TEA, MEA should not be in there. Color pigments, FD and C. We know that certain colors of lipstick have lead in them, high levels of lead. That is not good. You can actually look it up and you can see that, and it could be within the same manufacturer. Same manufacturer, like a Bobbi Brown. And you'll say, look at this color, this one's okay, but this one's not. So we should be looking, again, if you've got your favorite lipstick, make sure it's not full of lead. Fragrances and perfume, that's a huge one. Lots of people, and it'll say fragrance or perfume. It'll say natural fragrance. Those are a big no-no. If you have something that you're proud of in your ingredients, you're going to put what they are. You're not going to just put the word fragrance, because they can cause a lot of things. Headaches, and discolorations. They can be toxic and carcinogenic and cause cancer, even though it just says perfume or fragrance. And I think our listeners need to know about that.
So
Sodium lauryl.
Natural? Should it just be a natural perfume then, not have a
The natural perfumes are the essential oils, and that's why we're using the essential oils. That's the way to go. There are some others that have to be purified and are there, but anytime it just says perfume or if it's just saying fragrance, that's suspect. It may not be bad, but it's suspect. Why didn't they say what it was? That's what I want people to see. So sodium lauryl sulfate, I'm not a fan. Mineral oil, we know that it interferes with the body's ability to eliminate its own toxins. It has all kinds of problems. So baby oils and mineral oil. Here's one. Grapefruit seed extract. Now that sounds pretty good, doesn't it? That's a natural way to try to keep things from going bad on us, but it doesn't mean it's not toxic. And many fruit seeds are toxic, and even a quarter cup of apple seed can be lethal if ingested. And grapefruit seed contains cyanide. And so it shouldn't be used as a preservative. And it's just a good example of a lot of the natural topical products that we see say, oh, we use grapeseed extract as our way of keeping it from going bad. Well, but that may work, but it's also toxic. So we need to understand these. And here are some others, DM, and hydroquinone we talked about last time. Look at this, as little as 5 grams, if you ingest it, can kill you, and as little as 1 gram can cause all kinds of problems. So we know that it's been, at least in mouse studies, showing atrophy of the liver. That means shrinking your liver, anemia, and bladder cancer. And this is a common one used in a lot of products to say we're going to get rid of those dark spots. Be careful. It's not one that we should be
whitening. So what you're talking about is the whitening products that are so huge. Like in Asia, that's huge because everyone wants that really white skin.
That's right. That's right.
They're ingesting all of this toxic stuff. Wow. Okay.
That's right. That's right. And topically, it does absorb through, and that's a problem. So how do you read a label? Start at the end, not at the top, where they say, oh, look at all these great things that we've got. Start at the other ingredients down at the bottom. I tell patients, start there, not at the marketing piece. Start there, other ingredients, read it. And here's the words that you want to avoid, or paraben, that DMDM that we talked about. There's a urea, there's a methyl lyothiazylonine, triclosan, trichlorcarbon, and TEA. Those are ones you don't want. And so pretty much anything you can't pronounce might be suspect. But here is also, check the beginning of the ingredient list, and then you're going to look at anything that starts with a PEG. It says PEG and then dash something. We don't want it. If it has an F in the middle of it, that's also possibly not good, like sodium lauryl sulfate, right? That F there. That's another key, besides going to get your biochemical degree and a chemistry degree, to say maybe I don't want those in there. So that's the pieces that are big pieces that I think that people need to know. Or you find a brand that you know somebody's doing it for you, somebody like you, Suzanne, that's asking all the right questions and saying, okay, before I recommend this, I want to know that it's healthy, that it's non-toxic, it's not going to hurt anybody, and it works.
And what I find interesting is, like, I've done a lot of research on organic skincare lines because I'm very interested in this, and especially organic cosmetics, things like that. And what they'll do, which I think is kind of deceptive, is it's like they'll have 55 ingredients that have the word organic before it. But then if you really have to go all the way, and you can easily go, oh, it's all organic, and a few other things down here, no big deal. Because that's what we're used to seeing on food labels. Like because I could spend hours in Whole Foods. I'm one of these who stands there and reads everything because I have food sensitivity. And it's like, you really have to go and really know what are those things. And I think on food and skincare, anything, those are the things we have to be educated on.
And I will say, though, that there are some things we can't get organic. Some things that are needed to either be efficacious, to actually work, or to help stabilize the product. And so if you're working with companies that they do everything that we can get in organic, we do. The things that we can't but are needed, then we're going to get the cleanest form that we possibly can. So just because a product's not entirely organic, don't throw it out with the baby with the bathwater. Right.
There's different levels of toxicity, right? Like you've got some things like that or whatever, that's super toxic, right?
Right. Exactly. So obviously, even if it's not organic, doesn't mean it's toxic. So nothing in my skincare line, there's nothing there that is considered toxic. And we've gone organic as much as we possibly can. But there's some things you can't get organic that are needed, that we want to make sure we don't have a bacterial growth and it hurts someone's eyes. So we've done the best, but all of it is non-toxic. I will say that.
Right. I think that's what's most important, is the non-GMO, non-toxic, not tested on animals for the karmic property, which I think is a real thing. Like, you just don't want that bad karma on you at all. So I love that you've done all that research for these products. So let's go into some of your products, especially like the mud. Okay. Now I'm going to hold up the mud because I think this stuff is great. I don't know if the audience could really see that, but I just want to show what this looks like, because I think it's really, I just dumped it. I just dumped it.
Well, don't waste it. Smear it on your arm. Smear it on your back.
So let's talk about the mud. Mud's cool.
Yeah, that was exciting for me to find. And there are other products out there with it, but we'll talk about what else is in this particular one. But this particular mud comes from Europe. It's only one lake, only one place, Lake Hevitz. Heviz, okay? And it's mineral rich, and it's called Moor mud. And it's been prized by the Europeans for, hundreds of years. It's been, talked about for a long time. And the health benefits were, they would go there and put their whole body in. It was just so full of minerals, and it's still prized, and it would help injured horses to repair wounds. These are things we can't put on the claims, but I'm just giving you historical use. But they're full of calcium and magnesium and humic and fulvic acid. And humic and fulvic acid actually help those discolorations that we're talking about, the dark spots. They help extract old dead skin and help it turn over. So there's a lot of great benefits with these. So I was very excited to get it. And then let me see, my screen just went crazy, but there you go. Also, green tea leaf, Japanese knotweed. And people say, well, isn't that resveratrol? I thought we were supposed to, in green tea, you're supposed to eat and drink that. It also has wonderful antioxidant properties for the skin. So reishi fruit, ginseng, echinacea, chamomile, lavender. These are, and I'm going to keep going, rosemary, thyme, citrus, cucumber. I keep going, bee pollen extract, and sea kelp. So people go, well, that sounds like something I should eat. And I say, you know what, a really good product, you should be able to ingest it and not kill you.
Yeah.
So a lot of the it's like eat it and smear it on. So I don't want you eating these products, obviously, but they are so clean that most of them are things that we could ingest, and the same properties, the things that make these healthy when we ingest them, are the same things that are going to help our skin. So that's the beauty of it. And then you have to get the expert formulators to say this one works with this one cancels this one out. So you can't just throw in a bunch of stuff and say, oh, from a marketing standpoint, this, everybody's talking about this, let me just throw it in this vat and make a formula. That's not the way proper formula is done. It has to be chemistry looked at from a biochemical standpoint. Is it absorbed, first of all? Otherwise, it's just a marketing thing. Can we absorb it? Does it really have effect on the skin? And is it going to cancel out or be synergistic with the other ingredients? So it takes a lot of time and effort to do a proper formula.
Wow. I mean, this is like way deeper than what you would find if you went to Walgreens or something and pulled out some mud mask. Okay. Cause this actually has healing properties. Now explain a little bit, if I use this, say I use this, a couple times a week, what would be the lasting effects that I would see?
Right. So, it depends on your skin type, also, me, I've got this thick Indian skin. I've got, some DNA. I don't burn. I've got, big pore. I could use this several times a week, like 3 or 4. Love it. Love it. Mine doesn't do it. But if, you just got to test it, you got to try it, and you got to say, hey, it detoxed my skin. Did that make it look better for 2 days after, or did it look bad for a day? And I say bad, just a little drier, and then it got better. So you just have to test any product on your skin to say how often you'd want to do. But it helps by toning. Some of those minerals will help tone, which is tighten a little bit, and it restores the skin's natural hydrating balance, or its moisture balance. So in time, it's really going to bring out that moisture, because those minerals are what we really like. It's very, very good on oily skin as well. It works well, because it can be a little bit on the drying side if you've got dry skin, but I've not had anyone with dry skin tell me they can't use it. They still love it. They just don't do it as often. But it detoxes. And if you think about clay and mud, it pulls impurities through pores. So it's going to detox it. It's going to cleanse it, and help hydrate and protect it, which I'm after, from the sun's rays, from all these environmental toxins we're talking about. It's the protection from these antioxidants that I would hope in time are going to help us as well.
That's fantastic. Now, I also want to talk about the clay purifying mask, because this is clay. It's not mud, it's clay. I'm not going to, although I know this isn't going to fall out like that, too. I just tipped it just right.
It's thicker than the other one. That's right. That's right.
I got it on my hand here. But anyway, let's talk a little bit about the clay. My daughter is in love with this, by the way. Rachel has been like, she's walking around the house with this on her face all the time. It's actually, I had to go dig it out of her bathroom. I was like, I know.
Oh, that's funny. That's great. That's great.
So yeah, let's talk about it.
First of all, these organic clays, they've been used for a long time, again, for natural healing remedies. But let's just talk about, is it possible it may slow the effects of aging and cellular damage by exfoliating? Maybe, but they do tighten pores for sure. That's been well known and is absorbed. It absorbs acne causing oils. So it's ideal for all skin types. So it's actually going to pull toxins from it's going to tighten the pores, but it's also going to help absorb a lot of those bad oils that we see with acne. And it has two different types of clay in it, which I think is great. Is the kaolin clay. That's the gentlest clay that we can get, and it's very good for sensitive and dry skin. All right, but it also has the bentonite clay, which is the one that helps with circulation. It's going to help. It's also good for sensitive skin, but it can brighten. So if we say, what can this do? It can brighten your skin. It can help hydrate it, but it shrinks the pores and it takes out those bad oils. So clay, again, is like, if you think about the old ancient rituals of clay baths and what that did, we're getting in minerals and we're pulling out toxins. Now, do I have science to show that this particular products or any of these products do that? No, but centuries have told us what it does. And I say, try it on your skin and see. And clay has been studied. It has been studied. So I love this one too. It's got aloe in it and a lot of the Japanese plum fruit and Brazilian orange. So you say, which essential oils did you put in this one? Why did you put these essential oils in this clay, but you didn't use it in the mask? It's because what's the intention that we need behind that product and what works well with what. So it's not just about smelling good. Those essential oils are particularly chosen as well for their properties on the skin.
Right. That's great. And I think you're right. History does tell us, even if science, doesn't go there yet, I think history does tell us a lot. I mean, I think the ancient Egyptians and ancient Greeks used both mud and clay. I mean, this is super common.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, and bentonite clay has been shown to be antimicrobial, to help it not grow bad things in it, and also anti-inflammatory. So that I can say, bentonite clay does have those properties. And so if we know that the kaolin clays are kind of helping draw out impurities, then that can only secondarily hopefully help with pore size.
And that
we've seen it.
Yeah, we've seen it. I think it's the big thing. Okay, let's talk about the other ones too, because we're on a roll. So
all right.
The ones I carry on my website that I'm just super excited about. Now, my daughter also grabbed this one. Witness how much is I've had to really go in and steal it from her house. Okay, her room. So
that's the Peptide.
This is the Peptide facial moisturizer, which I love. This is beautiful. So talk a little bit about this one.
Yeah. So peptides are amazing. I've been in peptide research for a long time because of the healing properties from joint health, from cancer. I mean, we're studying a lot of studies around peptides. So I love it when we bring it into the aesthetic world here. And I've got some in development that maybe we'll finish the show with to kind of talk about. But the hexapeptide that is in this particular product has been studied. It's got well-regarded studies that back up the efficacy and the safety. And in 2012, there was a very good study that showed that it was safe for long-term use and it's effective in reducing wrinkles. They had a couple of patients out of all of it that had a little bit of itching that stopped immediately after they stopped the product, but it's very safe. We haven't had any reports off of this peptide, this one, and it may be because of the other ingredients I have in there besides the peptides that aren't letting it become itchy. But peptides are proteins, they're building blocks. That's what the body needs to rebuild. So think of peptides as the bricks you need to build the house. And so I love this one too. It's a great moisturizer. It's oil-free, so it works well under makeup, those kinds of things. And it's got a lot of antioxidants in it. It's a water-based hydrator and keeps your skin just fresh. And it really is good for all skin types. It's oil free, and we've had great effect in people really, really liking this one. Yeah. So again, some of the ingredients, you start looking at it. Now this one does have a little bit of retinol palmitate. That's that vitamin A. It's down in there. It's not high up on the list, but it's a little bit of the vitamin A. If you have problems, some people don't tolerate retinol. It irritates them too much. I'm one of those. I have not seen it with this particular form. It doesn't bother me, and I haven't had it bother anyone else. But that would be something. If you've got a real severe problem with Retin-A, maybe you choose one of the other moisturizers. But Retin-A has been studied, as we all know, for cellular turnover and helping us with healthy aging.
Yes, exactly. And there's different percentages of Retin-A.
That's right.
Different products.
That's right.
You have to pay attention to what
and this is very low. Yeah.
Very low, yes. Because there is a 5% that I use.
Yeah.
I can tolerate really high ones. So yeah. But
right. And that's fine. So those that can, you're using that therapeutically. What we're trying to do in this one is use the peptide instead of the retinol. But Retin-A for some people is amazing on your skin. If it works, I say use it. Right. But be careful. Don't use a lot of it because it does get absorbed and you can have vitamin A toxicity in your liver. So some people's hair started, I had some patients that their hair was falling out. We tested their thyroid. We did the typical things to see and went down rabbit trails and finally found out they were using their Retin-A so much that they actually had vitamin A toxicity and caused their hair to thin and fall out. So be careful with it. Wow. More is not better. And that's the other thing I really want to drive home. These good kinds of products that are efficacious and doing what they need, you only need a little bit, and more is not going to bring better effects than less. So more is not better when we talk about skincare and skincare products. If they're good products, you need a tiny amount.
You know, I think this is really smart because I've had different audience members email me and say, you know, I'm using, this really high retinol and I'm using it every single day and I'm just not seeing the results. And I'm like, oh my God, like relax. Like it's just, it takes time. And it's not just topical. And I think we covered this in the first interview is it's not just what I'm putting on my skin. It's also what am I eating? What's my mental state? There's other factors. And I think
that's exactly right.
We're sort of programmed in a society of the quick fix, right? So what's going to be the quickest fix here? Rather than, no, it's a slower, and I kind of want to bring this into it too, as my daughter Rachel has some acne and bad skin issues. And so she started using the clay and the moisturizer. Well, I gave these to her because they're very non-toxic, right? And the body lotion. She stole the body lotion. I've had to go in and confiscate that. We'll talk about this in a minute. But all of a sudden she started breaking out more. And I'm like, well, yeah, because it's sucking it, it's really having a good effect, but you have to give it time. And I could tell she was just like, oh my God, like, no, I don't want to, and I get it, right? You don't want to have zits, on your face.
Exactly. Especially young. They don't get that detox part. Yeah.
Well, exactly. But the detox takes time. And I think, we kind of have to grow up with this, especially with foods, with eating well. It's one of these things that just takes time and we have to allow that kind of space, I think.
That's right. But sometimes, on the other side, maybe she is sensitive to an ingredient in there. Right. So I would say don't wait more than 2 weeks. Give 2 weeks. Remember, the skin really regenerates. It revolves around 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, you've got a new set of skin. In months, within a year, we've got an entire new body, including bones and eyes and everything else. Our body is regenerating. Skin's fairly quick, but it is 2 weeks. So if you do something for 2 weeks and let's say into the third week, it's still bothering you, it's probably not the best product for you. You need to move on. So don't say hang in there longer than 3 weeks.
Okay.
Acne's a little difficult because there's a lot of hormones going on, changes. There's bad food because they're teenagers, and then emotions are a disaster. So of course the skin's going to reflect what's going on in that gut and emotionally. But I usually say give it a 3 or you usually get a month's supply of something. Try it. If it's not working by then and your skin's not happy, move on.
Right.
Try something different.
That's great. Okay, let's talk about the body lotion. We got hemp and coconut body lotion here.
Yeah. When I found the manufacturer, I happened to be on a trip and I was lecturing and they just had a sample somewhere and I just went, oh my gosh, I love this. The body lotion, it was hemp and coconut based and it's designed, and we have one, it's a lavender flavor smell, or we have the bergamot orange, which is my favorite. I just love the smell of that bergamot orange. And we have an unscented for those that are sensitive, but it's really packed with botanicals and extracts that penetrate the skin very quickly. And I have drier skin naturally. It penetrates quickly, it stays on, it soothes this the skin in so many ways. When you've got, you know, irritations or red, it's soothing. But it's got a custom blend of chamomile, rosemary, thyme, sage, mango, and other organic extracts. And so the essential oils are really about not just the skincare line, that body lotion, but also for your mind and your emotion. You're putting it on, and those essential oils in it are calming you on an emotional level. And then guess what? Your stomach settles down, and then guess what? Now your skin's better because you're you know, you're not stressing, your GI's not stressing out as well. So I think the blend of these scents, as well as just the purity of the hemp and the coconut. And hemp has so many amino acids in it, so does coconut oil. They're both so healing in their properties, and it's just the blend and the way this came together. I really, it's one of my favorite products in the line, is the body lotion. It just, I seem to love it.
So wonderful. And I do too, obviously, like we're totally, you know, tucked into these things. But so I want to bring up one point before we close out here, and that is anti-aging. Okay, we touched a little bit on this earlier, but you know, your point was, okay, it's not about anti-aging, it's about aging well. And I think this is completely true. Although I will say it's one of the number one things I get asked by not just people who sit in my chair, but people who you know, write to me via YouTube and my website. So what can you tell us about that when it comes to products, and so many products, anti-aging, big buzzwords? So what do you
Right. Yeah, like it's hard to, anybody that uses the word anti-aging on a product, I tend to either say they're either not educated maybe to know, or they're using it as a marketing gimmick. And I'm not saying that they're bad. It's just, I just think it's overused and over touted. But that being said, that word's out there. We all say, I want something that's anti-aging. I don't want to get wrinkles and drag. And what can I do? It's called prevention, right? It's called, how do I take care of my skin the best that I can so that it's going to last as long as it can in the best way. And so this healthy aging is all about everything that we're talking about, Suzanne, from your mind, body, spirit, emotional level. If you're in pain, your skin's not going to be good. If you don't like your mother-in-law, your skin's not going to be good. I mean, there's so many things. So you have to have that conversation. But as far as topical, I will tell you the first step is make sure it's non-toxic, first of all. Even if it might make your skin look good for a week or two and you go, wow, this is amazing, this looks really great, but maybe you get cancer 2 years down the line, guess what? Your skin's really not going to look good then. So it's about balance. First, non-toxic. Second, does it work with your skin? I have people come in all the time, reps with new products, and they say, listen, we've got this apple stem cell in it. I said, that's great. Show me that it absorbs. Well, here's this. I said, no, show me the study where you can make that claim. Now, you can tell me, we hope it works, we think it might work. I'm okay with that. But the minute you tell me something does something, you better be able to back it up. And so that's a big red flag for me. I want to say, what do we know and not know? But we know quite a bit about peptides, and especially about some new delivery systems. And so the things I've got coming out, when I get them out, you'll be one of the first to know, not the first to know, Suzanne, about these new peptides with the new chemists that I'm working with. And the venoms, and boy, I'm very excited on that front. They've got it out to a couple of Hollywood plastic surgeons right now, the preliminary on it, that work with the stars and can't make it fast enough. So we'll see. And what I know is it's non-toxic.
Yes. So, and we did touch on this in our first interview, and I am so excited about the venom. So this is snake venom. And I'm not going to go into it too much because we're kind of out of time, but it's snake venom that you're mixing into a product that we put topically on the skin that will plump the skin. Right?
Well, it does the same thing of Botox. It just slowly relaxes that tightening. The Cobra Venom, I already have a product. It's not out on my websites. I only sell it to my patients. But I have a Cobra Venom product that I've been using for about 4 years now. It works kind of like Botox, but on a lot slower level. It doesn't immediately take it out. But those that have these deep creases and so forth, it keeps that from tracking in. And it is not a neurotoxin. It doesn't kill brain cells. It's actually being studied as a possible healthy alternative or a healthy treatment for Parkinson's and other neurological diseases. So I'm excited about that one. But we've got some other venoms too that we're going to put in these. And the peptides are amazing. So I'll get you some as soon as it's out ready to go. I'll send you some to try, Suzanne.
Awesome. And then we will talk about it and tell all of you about it in the audience, because I want to offer all of you, as does Donese, safe products that really help you look and feel great. I'm super into the whole movement around non-toxic and organic as much as possible. And I totally see that point. So thank you so much, Donese. This has been so much fun.
Thank you. Yes. And I wish you were closer so you could do my makeup when we do these. So don't just say, no one judge my makeup, poor makeup job, thinking it was Suzanne. It was not. This is me. being a busy doctor, and formulator and researcher. But that's okay. When you do my makeup, though, it's amazing. So I want to give you a shout out.
Thank you. Thank you. I love it when you come into the studio, guys. I really enjoy having you there, and hopefully you'll be back soon. I'm sure you will. So, yes, thank you so much, Donese, for joining me today. And thank you, ladies, for watching. Please be sure to watch our first interview about where we talk about non-toxic and health, and we talk about age spots, talk about all kinds of very valuable things. Please go and watch that interview as well. Go to my website at thebeautyshaman.com to buy some of these products that we've talked about, and as new products come out, I will have them on my website and have Donese on the show. So thank you very much for watching The Beauty Shaman.